Hello and welcome to the Mohit Show. General News, April 6th, 2021. I will be covering a few notable stories of the day. First, from Moscow Times. Putin signs a new law paving the way for him to rule until 2036. This would make him the longest ruler since Stalin. Next, from CNN. Satellite images show that Russia is amassing its military might in the Arctic. This is likely to take advantage of the thawing of sea ice to have a northern sea passage. In more military news, from the South China Morning Press, the US and China have sent warships into disputed waters near Whitsun Beach. This has happened before during the Obama administration. In medical news, a new HIV approach is showing promise. This vaccine is showing progress in its first human trials. HIV is hard to treat since the virus mutates extremely quickly. If this new approach works, we could also vaccinate against other rapidly evolving viruses. Next, from The Verge, LG is leaving the smartphone business. In Belgium, from the Times of Malta, officials have found $1.2 billion of cocaine by decrypting messages between gang members. In good news from the BBC, the Mozambique town Palma has been retaken from the Islamic State. The militant Islamists murdered countless people and took over the city last month. In space news, from Sky News, the planet Mars is mysteriously shaking. Mars should not have plate tectonics, however. Scientists are theorizing that these rumblings were caused by seismic events. From the Latin Times, a suicide bomber in Tunisia killed herself and her infant child in the name of Allah. New jihadis every single day, every week, every year. In other news, from LRT English, despite threats from the Chinese Communist Party, Lithuania has moved to recognize the Uyghur genocide. I hope more countries continue to follow. In domestic news, from the Washington Times, Biden's Department of Homeland Security has sent a message to employees that they may restart border-walled construction to plug gaps. Wasn't he voted in for the opposite of this? Next, from The Independent, Putin critic Alex Navalny has been moved to a prison hospital after catching the coronavirus. In some good news from Reuters, Sri Lanka bans palm oil exports in response to the unethical nature of palm oil farming. Next, from CNBC, there are calls between Western nations to boycott the Beijing Olympic Games in response to China brutally committing genocide upon its own people. This is a good move, however. We need to shut off all trade with the modern-day Nazi empire. From Reuters, Ukraine is claiming that joining NATO is the only way to end continual war with Russia. Being part of NATO would mean anyone that attacks Ukraine would automatically become at war with all other NATO members. In sad news from the Daily Mail, a man dies doing 300 squats after police in the Philippines punish him for trying to buy water after 6 p.m. He returned home barely able to walk or stand before collapsing and dying. They initially forced him to do 100 squats, but they made him repeat because he was stumbling. Lastly, from Electronics Weekly, Taiwan semiconductor company TSMC Chairman Mark Liu says that moving foundry capacity to the US or EU is unrealistic. Currently, almost all top-of-the-line semiconductor chips are made in Taiwan. With concerns over the political stability of the region, many leaders want to change this. However, semiconductor manufacturing has very high upfront and running costs, and it is hard to introduce the industry to new areas. We will be reliant on this small island for our high-end computer chips for the foreseeable future. Thus, it is important to protect it from China. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more news. This type of content needs any help it can get in the algorithm. My sources are linked below. This has been the news.